Organ donation, the huge trap for the human soul. I'm translating this from Greek, and I'm also going to talk about blood donation. Donating blood is not at all the same, because our blood is always being replenished. And forgive me if I go a little bit slow, because I'm doing it from the translation. Now, we know that unfortunately, from what another article that I just read, a shocking number of donated organs end up in the trash, according to Cassandra Brabau. The shocking statistic, more than 60% of donated hearts and lungs are thrown away every year, according to a new study. As a registered organ donor, this news hits me, she says, right in the heart, but in all honesty, it's not that surprising. Organ donors don't necessarily die, and therefore donate their organs at the most convenient places or times. So while about 22 people die every day waiting for a transplant, the person waiting for your specific heart or lung might not be within the 4-hour away distance that allows the tissue to survive. Hence, lots of discarded organs. But now I want to go into the organ donation, and the huge trap concerning the human soul. This is written by Angeliki Anagnostou. It's from Andehis Nalithia, are you able to withstand the truth? Now, the organ transplant, organ donation, besides being a very positive thing to do, it's also linked to the fact that the relatives of the person who has donated the organs, assuming that the person has passed away, in order for them to feel better that their relative that has just passed away is not totally lost, but somehow through the donation of his or her organ is still around, that somehow that person still exists. They either do it for his soul, that he does not die, his memory does not die, and they count it as being a very good act, for a positive act for that person as well. That person who donated his organs caused the extension of life to another person who is ailing, in some way saving that person's life. But nobody thinks about the results that can take place from this event. Not only for the person that receives it, but also the soul of the person that has donated this organ. So let's look at this a little bit closer. If a person is made up of various levels in his existence because of a lot of energy bodies, these bodies each find their own energy level that makes up the whole physical body. The energy levels of the body make up the whole physical body of the person. Now, at the time of death, the supposed body, the body with all these energy bodies, disconnects. And these energy bodies, in a very quick manner, dissipate. Every energy body is disconnected from the physical body until it leaves it totally. It's like when the soul leaves the body. These energy bodies as well would leave the body at the time of death. But in the event of an organ being removed from a person who is still alive, whereas the brain is brain dead, these the organs that are removed from a body that is still alive, even though it's brain dead, is still contains the energy bodies, the various energy bodies. The soul, in other words, what makes up the soul or the person in the physical body has not been removed yet. They have not left the body yet, according to this article. They are still inside the body, and that make up the energy levels that make up the body. They're still connected to the body. Now, when the organ has been removed from and is still alive, it's been removed from the brain dead person who is still alive, okay, it's brain dead, but the body's still alive, and is kept, the organ is kept alive until it is placed into the person who's receiving it. The energy bodies are not removed, they're still inside the organ. They're still inside the donor's organ, with the result being that when the donor dies, in this case, having donated an organ, when he dies, a piece of his soul and spirit energy cannot be released. It's found in the living organs that are still alive and are meant to be put into the new patient to extend his life, all right? So with that donated organ in the body of another person, the organ that was donated is like a kite that is flying. You're flying a kite in the air. The kite wants to take off and be released, but it can't because you're holding it with a string. And that's the same thing with the person that has passed away, who has organs in someone else. One person or many other different persons, depending on how many organs have been given. It could be a heart, it could be also lungs, it could be parts of his eyes, it could be kidneys, I don't know, liver. So it could be one person or it could be more persons. And the soul of the person who supposedly is trying to pass on and pass away cannot, because it's being held back. It's trapped. And it's trapped in the body and soul of the person receiving these organs. It's a trapped soul. Now, of course, many times you see the ads on, of course, various ads on organ donation, say how many, for example, how many lives do you want to save? And please donate your organs. And they have one person, and saving many people. The thing is that your spirit is still in your body there, the live parts of your body, and that will be going to other people as well. Now, that means that the person who is dead cannot move on. He's trapped. And it's a personal drama for the person who has died giving his organs, not to be able to pass on his spirit towards where it's supposed to go. And the person that has received the new organ receives the energy from the person that has donated it as well. In this case, you see that many a time, the person who has received the new organ somehow changes his personality, his character. He starts showing other traits, other characteristics that he did not have before receiving the organ. And now, if the donor was a good person, a kind person, a positive person, those traits would perhaps be transferred to some degree to the person receiving the organ. But if the donor was the opposite, and if he was he had some kind of a living demonic spirit or characteristics in him, that these would be passed on to his organs, and those dark energies and dark characteristics would be passed on to the person receiving the organs as well. So it's a type of a grafting. It's like when you take a piece of a plant and graft it onto something else, and they sort of become mixed. That's what it's like with these the organ donations and transplants. Just like a plant is grafted and it becomes something else, that's what happens when you give a live organ donation and place it into another person. Now, the modern man has total ignorance of what can happen when you receive an organ transplant. And they view it as a very good act to do. You know, you're saving a person's life. That's of course, one good thing having to do with that. But what happens if the organ comes from a person that is negative and has bad characteristics and has demonic entities attached to the body, and they are transferred to you in some way? That's the bad thing that you have to look at. Also, the fact that the person cannot be released to be, the soul cannot leave the earth, let's put it that way. So that soul is always with you, whether you like it or not, because it's tied to you. Part of that soul is in, the live body is in your body. And that soul is tied to you, following you in that manner. Now, okay, a lot of people say, well, what about if you donate blood? Okay, donating blood is going from a live person. It's not going from a person that passed away. Donating blood is going from a live person to a live person. And besides that, the blood is always being regenerated anyway. So it's not the same thing. The difference here is that the blood is given from a live person towards a live person, and that way the bad aspect somehow is diminished. Getting something bad from a person that's donated blood to you, if that person is negative and there are negative characteristics and actions associated with the person that has donated the blood that you have received, you could get that as well, but it will be less than if you had an organ from a person that had passed away or tried to pass away. The body has passed away, but the soul is still attached to you. Anyway, that's what I wanted to read to you. Sorry that I was going slow, but I think this is something very important that we have to be aware of. There has been Hollywood movies made concerning human organs being received by other people and that they're, somehow their character changes and everything. There's some truth to that. Whether we like it or not, there seems to be truth to that. Okay, so I'll leave a link below for you for this, and I never knew this, I just learned it by reading this article. So tell me what you think, if you have any more information about this, or if you know anybody that has had a transplant and has changed character, personality, please let me know. Give us your comments. Thank you for your support. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.